Hey, what's up everyone? Today I wanted to make a law video. Now before I go into anything, I want to give a disclaimer. I've only played probably 100 to 150 games of law, so I do consider myself fairly good at the deck, but by no means am I a master of it yet. I'm still learning constantly, I'm still improving my deck list here and there, but I've finally settled on a point where I think I'm fairly decent at it, and I think my deck list is fairly decent too. So going into it, we'll do the basics. Law's leader effect. For 2 Dawn, you pick up a 5 or less, and then you can put down a 5 or less of a different color. So I could pick up Nami, play Law, I could pick up Law, play Nami, whatever the case may be. You basically pick up a green for a red or a red for a green. Has to be that. You cannot pick up Nami and play Luffy, for example. So let's go into the deck list, and then I'll go over every card individually as we go along. So Otama, she's a 2k counter. First and foremost, searchable by Dedan. On play, gives a character minus 2000. This is one of the most versatile cards in the deck. Can be used with, Otama plus Vista, KOs a 5000 power or less, very simply. Otama can be used to lower, let's say, those Whitebeard big swinger vanillas. Lower their attack so that you can swing into them with more characters easier. Maybe put down a Rush Zoro, swing again after they've defended a bunch of times and now they can't defend again, for example. Get against 6k blockers, put them -4. Now they don't get a free block for 5000, so you can swing wider with 5s more. Tons of stuff you can do with Otama, and just a basic 2k counter in hand if it comes to that. Sanji, one of the best cards in the deck again. I mean, every card is the best card in the deck. This deck is just really good. So he's a 2k counter. Activate main once per turn. You may add 1 card from your life area to your hand. This character gains plus 2000 power during this turn, then give this character up to 2 Rested Dawn cards. So he's immediately a 7k attacker, which is insane, for 2 cost, by the way. So I like to play him early and then use his effect pretty much immediately in some matchups. Sometimes I won't swing with him and I'll just use his effect to draw a card. Or sometimes it might come down to where I need to attach all my Dawn to swing, and you can still use his effect to draw a life and then swing for 5. So that's another important detail that I figured out the other day. Other than that, he can be searched by Nami. He's really good for drawing a cards against decks to try to stall you out, like Rebecca, Queen maybe. Or just good for really early game aggression, really heavy swings really early if you need to get the game over and done with fast because you don't want them building up their Dawn or their hand or whatever the case may be. So, going into Nami, basic searcher, gets a straw hat, can be, replayed with Zoro over and over and over again to get Brook, Sanji, Chopper, Radbeam, Guard Point. Basic searcher, 1 Dawn, 1 cost. 1k counter. Not much else to say about Nami. Rush Zoro, I don't know if I'm going to play 2 or 3 of these. I think 3 is a decent amount, especially for early aggression. And personally, I've found the more aggressive route wins me more games more often than being a little bit more passive and letting my opponent get resources. I kind of just try to come out of the gate swinging every single game if I can, especially if I have my Bonnie Searcher, my Nami, all the pieces I need are right away. I just try to get the game over and done with as fast as possible. Zoro really helps with that. Really good for the first shambles target with the Law, because Law can play Zoro for free basically, and then you get a free 5k swing to life. And then Zoro basically becomes a blocker because almost everybody can't help themselves but attack them, and rightfully so. They kind of need to get it off the board, but at the same time you could protect him so you could save the, the restand, swing again with him the next turn. All sorts of stuff with Zoro. He's a very versatile card as well. I mean, every card is versatile in this deck because of the way this deck plays. You can just pick up any card and put it down basically whenever it wants to. 5k swings, really good. 6k with this Nami that we'll get to later. So, Dedan, 2 costs. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck, reveal 1 red character card with a cost of 1 or less, and add it to your hand. So, searchers are Chopper, searchers are Namis, searchers are Otama. Does not search the events, unfortunately. That'd be pretty cool though. But anyways, she's another target that Law usually wants to pick up and put down, so you can just keep stacking cards up in your hand over and over and over again, accumulating as many resources as possible. Specifically when I'm using Dedan, I usually search out Otama or Nami. If I have a Nami, perfect, I'm always searching Otama. Otama is just way too versatile of a card not to have in your hand almost every single game. I want to see this card every game. It is so good. It wins you the games so easily sometimes. Just making something minus 2,000 and swinging into it with 4 different characters, and then they either burn a bunch of cards in their hand, or they immediately just say, you know, take it, not worth the trouble. Either way, works good for you. Vista, really good card. I switch between Vista and Robin, but I like the immediate impact that Vista serves rather than Robin's, you know, repeated potential impact, but usually Robin just gets Thunderbolted or 3,000 Worlds or Kirost or, you know, something. Robin usually does not survive the turn, no matter what. People are more likely to leave Vista in play if they can. They do try to target him out eventually, especially if I swing with him, but they're not nearly as concerned with Vista as they are with Robin, when they probably should be, because Vista is a little bit more deadly in my opinion, and specifically I run Vista in this meta over Robin because of stuff like Sugar from Green Purple Dofi. Just completely ruins Green Purple Dofi for the most part, so one of my favorite cards in there. Can be shambled with Law, picked up and put down, 2 KOs around if you want to. Insane card, really good against the mirror match as well, so if you're playing a heavy Law locals or tournament or whatever, you might want to bump this up to 3. Really does not feel good to be on the receiving end of this card as Law. So 4 chopper blockers, level 1 blocker, not much else to say. These are the, you know, your trash blockers. You're just going to throw these out. If people swing with a big number, you're going to take it with a chopper. If you don't feel comfortable taking life, you can always use the chopper or the Capone. They're there to just be annoying, and they're easily KOable, so you might as well use them while you can, rather than having just them be a body on the board. A 1-cost body on the board is not necessarily that big of a deal. You can usually replenish that fairly easily, so don't underuse these in my opinion. Although, at the same time, if you're playing against yellow or something, they'll have to Thunderbolt late game, which will reduce their life, which a lot of the times they can't afford to do at all. So depending on the matchup, you want to just keep these on play, or you just want to eat them as fast as possible. Anyways, let's get to Nami. Really good against Whitebeard and just generic 6k swings really easily every single turn, or, you know, gives Dedan a Dawn, and now you only have to use 1 more Dawn on Dedan. That's a horrible tongue twister for Dedan to swing for 5. Or Brook, or Vista, or whatever the case may be. Just gives you extra attack power every single turn. Never bad to see. And it's also a 1 cost, which can be search for Dedan, and you want to get your 1 cost in place so you can get Shambles out as fast as possible. Going into Brook, he's a 2k counter. He allows anything to swing with 5 that has 3k already, so Dedan, Vista, himself, Sanji, whatever the case may be. Allows much more pressure, and it's a body on the board immediately, so he basically pays for his own cost immediately, which is really strong. And he's a 2k counter, searchable by Nami, so really strong card. I had him only at like 1 or 2 when I first started playing the deck, but as I've played the deck more and more, I've seen his use, and very good card. Going into Rush Luffy, pretty self-explanatory. He can't be blocked, and he can be restanded by this Law. So in the matchups where they're throwing down a million blockers, you just, you know, swing at life, no block, restand, swing at life, no block, GG. Much easier said than done to get that process out and everything, and, you know, break down their hand enough to where they can't just counter out of it. But yeah, trivializes those heavy blocker matchups really well, and really good to have 2 just in case they can get rid of 1, or he gets, you know, trigger Trueno Bastardo or something like that. Just good to have 2 in case anything bad happens, but you definitely want to protect him if ever possible, or you can use him as bait if you have the other one in your hand, because they will always go for this card. Like, people have rabies when they see this card on the board. They're just like, oh, get rid of it, ah! Anyways, Blocker Law, probably the best card in the deck. 5 cost, on play, return one of your characters to your hand, play up to one of your character's cards with a cost of 3 or less from your hand, so, you know, usually returns Arrested Bonnie and plays a Vista, plays a Zoro, plays a Brook to add 2 Dawn to something else, plays Nami if you want to search something else, plays Dedan if you want to search or just get more cards in your hand in general. You know, plays Bonnie again if you want to. Not typically, usually just picks Bonnie up. So, yeah, anyways. Also, swing with this card. People also go crazy when they see this card on the field for whatever reason. They want to get rid of it again and again and again and again. Rightfully so, but at the same time, relax, guys, okay? It's not the biggest deal if that card swings at you. Anyways, it's a 6k swing. You want to get the swing out. You can reset it. You have 3 more in your deck if you lose one. It's really important to swing with this card a lot. Not always, of course. Sometimes you do need the blocker, but the more you swing with this card, the better off you're going to be for the most part. And especially if you can just like bait someone else into swinging into this card and then rad beam out of it, they're screwed. Like, it is just so good. King, this is the GG card if you're not black or blue for the most part. If they cannot get rid of this card, it is pretty much game. If you get him behind 2 blockers or you have rad beam, guard point in your hand, it's over. So on your opponent's turn, if this character is rested, your opponent cannot attack any other characters than him, for 1 Dawn by the way. So you do have to play that turn fairly carefully. You only have 1 Dawn to expend because 9 needs to go to him, 8 to him, and then 1 to, you know, pay the cost for his effect. One time I did play this without enough Dawn for his effect, and somebody just swung into it anyway, assuming that they had to, so worked out for me, but at the same time, just good to remember. So you can also rest him the turn he comes out, so he doesn't have to, you know, attack to rest himself, which is insane, so he gets his effect off immediately. Rest this character, play a character card with a cost of 3 or less from your hand. Usually going to be a blocker in this scenario. Could be Zoro or Vista if you really wanted it or needed it. Could be a Brook if you wanted it or needed it, whatever. It could be anything in your deck, really. That's besides the point. But you do need a low cost to, you know, use his effect to rest him, so just keep that in mind. But, you know, getting him behind a blocker or 2, now they're forced to attack into him, and you have little mini blockers that prevent them from doing anything. They could have, you know, 3 big bombs on board, and if you have 3 mini blockers, they're not doing anything that turn. And then the following turn, they still have to expend 1 attack into him again. So, and then the following turn, he's a 9k swing for you, because you're always going to put a Dawn on him. So anyways, really good card, pretty much a checkmate card against the right matchup. I always like to keep it in my hand, or search for it early in the right matchup, or even mulligan for it. But yeah, the more I use this card, the more I understand how good it is. It has not failed me yet. The only thing you have to watch out for is it getting like red rocked or, you know, KO'd by some other means. So yeah. Going into Capone, just a level 1 blocker, Supernova, can be searched by Bonnie. Not much else to say about him. Bonnie searches our Supernovas, including herself. She uses 2 Dawn, 1 to play, 1 to search. You need Bonnie. She searches your Laws, she searches Kid, she searches Zoro, she searches Basil, which we'll get to in a second. Bonnie is a must to keep around in your hand. You cannot let her die. Every single time I let her die, I pretty much lose if it's early. Or if I have another one in my hand, I might let her die, but she's a must. You need to shambles her back out of the field unless you can swing for game or something like that. She's way too good to leave out to dry. You gotta get her off the board, or she needs to be protected in some way. Protect her, search for her, mulligan for her. She's the way you win. She's the life of the deck, and people that know how to play against Law know that, and they target her with everything they have if she is rested. So keep that in mind. Don't leave her out to dry. Keep her in your hand. Keep her, just, yeah, save her. Anyways, Restand Law, Supernova search, so it can be searched with Bonnie. On play, set up to one of your Supernovas or Heart Pirates type rested characters with a cost of 5 or less is active. So, resets your blocker Law, resets your Luffy, resets your Zoro, resets your Hawkins. Insane card. This is the card that I usually swing with game for. Maybe I have a Rush Luffy on the field. He has 10 Dawn underneath him. I'll swing, shambles, swing again. No blocks. Nothing they can do about it. Maybe I'll use him with, you know, Hawkins just to be annoying if I don't have any other Supernovas. 7 out of character, 7 out of character. you know, restand 7 at life, whatever the case may be. I use him with blocker law quite a lot because a lot of the times people can't out the blocker law, and sometimes I'll just swing with, I don't know, 13, you know, restand 13 again game. This is like the setup card, so you kind of want to get it set up a turn before to the point where you can just swing for 2 enormous swings and GG's. We've got 1 Hawkins. Don X1 once per turn. If this character battles your opponent's character, set this card as active. So this is a card that makes them make a hard choice, as always, because if you could say swing 7 to life, they have a blocker in the field, but if they use it, then you can restand it immediately again. So they either have to take the life, or they have to block it, and then you can swing again. So it just puts them in an almost impossible situation. Every time I put it on the board, it makes a big impact, but at the same time, I really don't want to see more than one in my hand because I really don't want the deck to get too bricky. But at the same time, I would maybe put another one in the deck, take something else out. I have no idea what I would change or take out, but he is a very, very good and impactful card whenever I see him. Really good at getting rid of Kudos. You just attack, they rest stage, attack, they rest leader, attack again, they might counter out of it, but it's 7, so they have to put 2 more cards out of their hand. So one of the main reasons I put it in the deck is to get rid of Kudos, and, you know, just gets rid of a lot of other problem cards, 6-skip blockers and stuff like that as well. So yeah, that's pretty much Basil. Going into Radical Beam, your leader or up to one of your characters gains plus 2,000 power during this battle. Then if you have 2 or less life cards, that character gains an additional plus 2,000 power. I almost never use it unless I'm at 2 life, which is almost always because I usually take the first 2 lives. Sometimes I'm careful depending on the matchup, but I usually take my lives right away just to keep this cycle of my cards in my hand to keep going. So this is a 4k counter for 1 Dawn, which is insane. Really good at saving Kid, really good at saving Law, really good at saving Zoro, Luffy, whoever you need it to. I usually save it to save a character rather than life, but you know, it's a pretty versatile card, so you can use it for whatever you want. Same thing with Guard Point. I just like to have a second defensive event. A lot of people don't see it coming. If I leave 2 Dawn, some people might think I just made a mistake or whatever, but no, I do have 2 counters, and I will use them. I try to save them for, if I'm going for a Kid setup, I will just save all my 2Ks in hand, all of my events in hand possible, and just put him on the board and make him a menace. No one can KO him. Against some matchups, it's just such a big GG, so that's another reason I use 2 events. I feel like I'm rambling on a little bit, but anyways, I'll get into a little bit of gameplay here and try to explain my thoughts and reasoning throughout all my plays and whatnot. So yeah, hopefully this hasn't been too much of an information dump so far. Hopefully it's been somewhat coherent, and we'll go into the gameplay now. Okay, so going into the gameplay here, I'm actually going to commentate this live, so hopefully it's not an absolute disaster. I'm in a mulligan. I don't see Bonnie. Not the greatest hand, but I'll just go ahead and play Capone and pass because he's not going to waste removal on it, more than likely. Nor does he probably have removal for it this early in the game, so pretty good. Here I'm just going to play Brook, attach the Dawns to Law, and swing for 8. Slowly expanding my board, getting ready to shambles here sooner or later. He's probably gonna take it. Nope. Okay. Gum Reigns plus Sanji. Yikes, his hand is looking pretty low. I know Queen kind of wants a lower hand, but that is kind of scary for him in my opinion. Swings to life I'll take because I need some more cards in my hand. Plays Pound, which will end up healing me if he chooses to play the KO effect, which I do think it is a choice, not sure. But I'm just going to keep expanding my board. If I have 3 1 cost, I can shambles here. Unfortunately, I don't. So I'm probably just going to play a Brook, buff my Law, and play a Chopper. And I'll swing for 9. I probably should have waited on the Chopper in case of a trigger, but I'm not too concerned about it. Let's see if he activates the on-KO effect, and he does, and sends Brook to the bottom, healing me. I guess his mentality is to delay the shambles, which I get, but I'm just going to get another card in hand. He plays the Boa that draws a card on block or attack. I'm going to play Dadan into Bonnie. Dadan fails. Bonnie looking for restand law here. I'll take blocker law. And now I'm probably going to start trying to swing wide because I finally got my shambles out. But first, I don't have enough Dawn this turn to attack with anything else but law. I am going to shambles first in case he has a trigger. So I'll get Dadan back to my hand, play law, pick up Bonnie, and play a Zoro because I'm not too concerned about my hand size or anything at the moment. And I'll swing with 6 to Zoro, or 6 with Zoro. Chooses to block with Boa so he can draw a card and counters out. Not sure if I should go for Boa or life here. I think I'm just going to keep swinging at life. I'm not too concerned about it. Does end up taking a life there. Plays Katakuri and bottom life's my law. And then swings 5 into Zoro. I'm gonna let him have it. I don't have too many cards in hand that I can counter that with. I don't really want to throw away a Dadan or a Bonnie or an Otama either. I'm gonna use Dadan to search Nami, hopefully. Gets a chopper. And then we'll use Bonnie. Hopefully we get restand law. I'll take Rush Luffy for sure. Now we're going to go ahead and swing 5 with Brook. If they hit a trigger, I'm still good because I have the chopper for the extra Dawn before the shambles. No trigger, they choose to counter out of it. I'm going to go ahead and pick up the Dawn for Law, pick up Bonnie for Dadan, whatever you want to call her. I'm going to get a Nami here, just so I have both searchers on deck, and I'm going to swing for another 5. Now, another thing I didn't mention in the introduction is you kind of want some of your characters to become blockers for you. Like, part of the reason I swung with this Brook is because I want him to swing into it with something, and then it becomes a blocker, in a certain sense, you know what I mean? Okay, so he's just bottom decking everything right now, which is pretty rude of him, not gonna lie. Swing 6 into Brook, so Brook does become a blocker, as previously mentioned. I'm going to swing 8 to life. I'm going to take it. I have plenty of life. And attaches 1 to Boa for the draw. I could probably actually take out Katakuri here, which kind of messes with his whole strategy. So I might do that, or I might just keep swinging at life, which is going to be the more likely thing that I do, because I think that's a little bit smarter. And play Chopper and a Nami, get another Chopper, so I'm doing great on blockers now, feeling pretty good about that. Get a Bonnie, search for restand or blocker law. I'll get blocker law. Not sure where all my restand laws are. It's unfortunate. And I'll pick up Nami for law, pick up Bonnie for... I'll do another Nami to search. Sanji, 2k counter, or Brook, 2k counter. Brook's a little bit more versatile, I'll get him. I don't really care to draw with Sanji at this point, I've got so many cards in my hand. So I have used my Shambles, not going to be able to attack with anything but Law more than likely. I could Otama into his Katakuri, but I think I'm just going to... I could Otama his Katakuri. I might try that next turn. I'm just going to swing at his life here for 9. Gonna get the pretty much guaranteed life, or the guaranteed block. Yep, get the block. She's dead. Draws a card. Gets the value out of her. And I pass turn with a million cards in my hand. Gonna keep trying to build the library. Bottom deck's my Law with Mihawk. Very original, very original. Now he's going to attack for 5. I'm gonna go ahead and counter it, just because I can. And with the 8 swing, I'll Chopper Blocker. Now he plays a 1-cost Law. So, a couple different plays I could make here. I could play Rush Luffy. My next Bonnie search will almost certainly have a Restand Law because I haven't found it yet. So I should definitely do that. So I'm going to summon a Chopper Bonnie, get my Restand Law hopefully. There he is. Now we could put Basil on the field and attack both of their characters next turn if they don't bottom deck him. I could put out Rush Luffy and bait him with 2 events. I like that plan. So I'm going to Shambles for Rush Luffy. I'll attach 3 Dawn and swing. Pretty much gonna have to take that, and then I'll do another 5 to life, hoping not to hit a trigger. Cool, discards, and I'm gonna pass. 3 blockers and 2 events with a Rush no block Luffy, so I'm feeling pretty good here. Didn't drop the Yamato. But I do think he's going to be able to activate the effect to heal, which is unfortunate. So he's going to swing 9 at Luffy, and I'm going to... I can't Rad Beam, actually. Forgot about that. It's a good thing I noticed my life. I'm going to go ahead and guard point. I should have Chopper Blockered. I already went to the phase on accident. In real life this wouldn't have mattered, but I already pressed the button unfortunately, so I'm just going to go with guard point plus a Brook here. Gonna swing at Luffy again, block, Luffy again, and block. And Brule comes out. So unfortunately he did waste a few of my cards on board, so I'm not going to be able to swing as hard, but I don't really think that's going to matter here. Let's see. I think I'm going to do 2 Bonnies. I'll do 9 at life. Should be a guaranteed life. Wait, what happened? Ah, okay. Gets the trigger Sanji blocker. I'm gonna go ahead and Shambles my Nami for reset law and do another 9 at life. Then I'm gonna go ahead and just swing. Maybe I look for another blocker. I'm gonna look for a chopper blocker with this Nami. Or maybe I should look for Capone. Let me see. So I've used 3 chopper blockers. There's almost no way I'm gonna find another one. So I should look for Capone. I do find Chopper and Capone, but it's good to know which that you have. And I'm gonna go ahead and play Capone for the rest of Bonnie. Probably doesn't matter. And I'm gonna swing 5 at life because I'm not gonna have any repercussions from some trigger. And he blocks. I'm gonna end with a Rad Beam in hand. No effect on it yet, unfortunately. So not nearly as effective, but I got 2 blockers on him as well. So shouldn't be any way I can mess this up at this point. We're looking pretty good here. I should be able to find a restand law with my Bonnie. They shouldn't mess with it this turn. Shouldn't. We'll see. Oh. They have to do a blocker. Yep, they Yamato my blocker. Swing 6 to Luffy. So they've got the Mihawk swing. Can I save Luffy here at all? 6, I do 7, 8, I do 8, 10, and then block. Yeah. So I can save Luffy here, but is it worth it? I think so. He's a pretty big win condition. I'm gonna save him with Otama. He's gonna swing again. I'm going to save him with Nami, sorry. Rad Beam into Otama. Swing again, block. And my turn. Not sure if that was worth it. Get a Nami, fortunately. Nami's going to go into Sanji. Gonna search with Bonnie and get Law. Which Law do we need? Either Law is really good here, honestly. I'm gonna get Restand Law. Play Zoro. And I'll go first I'll do Luffy. 8 to life. No blocks. It's gonna be a take for sure. I'm gonna do 5 at life, or 6 at life, sorry. Six at life. 5 at life. I'll go ahead and restand Luffy, do another 8 to life, and pass. So he can take a maximum of 4 attacks this turn. I've got 4 life technically with a 2k counter, at least 1 more 2k counter in the life, so should be looking pretty good here. I don't see a reason to protect Luffy, and I also can't, so he's gonna go ahead and break my board here. Red rocks my restand law. Swings 8 to Bonnie. Respectable. And swings 9 at life. And heals. So no blockers on board, and should be pretty good here. 3 cards in hand. So let's do the math really quick. We could do 5 at life. Yeah, I think we do. I'll do 6. Well, let me do the math. So I could do 5 at life. Zoro's another 3 Dawn. Plus 2 is 5, so I can do 6, I think. Oh, that is 5. I can't math. Oops. Okay, so 2k counter. Have to hit this. 7. I'll do 2 7s. He has it. I don't have another Zoro. Maybe I just search for a blocker. Miss. Sick. Yeah, I guess I'll just go 5 to life. He should have game here, I think. $10 to Zoro. 9 to Nami. He should have just been attacking my life. Is he gonna Yamato? If he Yamatos, then he probably wins. If he doesn't have Yamato, I don't know what he's gonna do. Does not have Yamato. Heals a life. I take blocker, pound. Pound comes out. Fortunately, I have Vista. And now I just do 7 to life. Nice. Okay, so that one almost got away from us, but we got it. We got it done. So that's, you know, that's a good matchup for me. So I'm not too excited with that or anything, but let's get into another matchup that's hopefully a little bit more difficult. Okay, so going into the gameplay against Crocodile here, he chooses to go first. I'm gonna keep because I see 2 searchers. I'm not gonna get greedy and look for a Bonnie because usually when I do that, oh, there we go, perfect. So I'm gonna go ahead and play Dadan here. Probably look for Otama or Chopper Blocker. Find Otama. Go ahead and pass. So we really have to keep our board nice and healthy against Crocodile because he can just yoink anything off whenever he wants, as he pleases. So especially towards the late game, we need to keep multiple blockers because he can 10-drop Kaido into leader ability and remove 3 cards instantly, and that hurts. So we also kind of want to be aggressive here and end the game before he can do any of his silly stuff. So let's see if we can go ahead and do that. We're gonna go with Nami, searches Chopper. We already have a Zoro. And then I just might go ahead and play 1 Chopper and swing for 7. That way next turn I can play Beige, Bonnie, search with Bonnie, hopefully find a blocker Law, Shambles, all the fun stuff, and all of that. Now hopefully he doesn't have anything like ulti in his deck or any tech that is like basically just meant for Law. I've played against a couple Crocodiles that run that card and it could be pretty frustrating. Just sending all your Chopper blockers to the bottom instantly. So 5 done. Attacks with 6. I don't have a 2k counter I'm willing to give up right now, so I'm gonna go ahead and take it. Don't want to give up the Chopper blocker or anything. And a Mihawk comes out, interestingly enough, so not really too concerned about that card. Find a reset Law, so I'm gonna go ahead and play Beige into Bonnie. Bonnie will search a blocker Law, hopefully. Yep. Now we're gonna go ahead, so we probably want a few more 2k counters, so we're gonna look for Brook. So we're gonna go ahead and Shambles Nami for Law, Shambles Bonnie I could do Zoro here, actually. I think Zoro's better because I need some pressure. And I can just go ahead and swing for 6 and 5. Nice, we managed to take a life there. Don't care if they had the counters or didn't have the counters, we got the life. So, happy about that. He is accumulating a little bit of a library in his hands, unfortunately, so hopefully he cuts that out sooner or later. Zoro is probably going to become a blocker here, more than likely, for the Mihawk. Swinging 6 so he can't just be blocked by the Law without effort. Sorry about that. So yep, Mihawk swings into Zoro. I could protect Zoro to keep up the pressure a little bit, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. I honestly hope he gets a little bit greedy and swings with his blocker, Dofi, because I would really punish him the next turn if he did that. Gonna swing 7 at life. Oh, just gonna swing 7 into Zoro. I'm going to block plus Otama. And he's going to 3,000 Worlds my Law, which is always a breath of fresh air in the morning. Top deck Otama, 8 Dawns. Let's see, what could I do here? I am going to reset my Zoro and swing twice, more than likely. Or maybe I'll get Hawkins on the field. Hawkins seems pretty good right about now, actually. So I'm going to go ahead and... it's hard to say, That would give me 6. Don't really want to use Bonnie here. So I am going to end up shambling Hawkins probably. I'm going to do Nami, Search. We'll get a Sanji for 2k. And then I might just go ahead and play Otama into the Mihawk and get that thing out of here. And then I'll do move 5 into 3. He'll probably take, or he'll waste a lot of cards for a card that's not very good. So, win-win. Yep, takes. And now we're gonna go ahead and shambles first before attacking again because we're scared of like some stupid trigger. So we're gonna go ahead and shambles Dan for Hawkins. And we're gonna go 6 with Law and 6 with Zoro. Takes another life. I've got Reset Law in hand. He's got 1 blocker that could be Otama plus Vista. If I happen to find a Vista, I could throw down to Dan, search for Otama. Not that that would be super efficient. That's a lot of Dawn and everything, but could happen. Could happen. Could just pick up my own Otama right there as well. So he's approaching 10-drop Kaido time, which is basically what we're trying to avoid. And I don't think he can really afford to use his captain ability yet, or his leader ability, whatever it's called. So he does 7 to Zoro. I think this is going to be a chopper blocker situation. Bottom decks Hawkins, typical, and summons Miss All Sunday. You know, I hate it here, I'll be honest. So what do we do now? We could swing wide. We could pick up Zoro again and play him again. Let's go ahead and see. He's gonna do some bullshit next turn with Kaido and everything, which is most concerning. So I need a lot of blockers on the field, and I also need to swing a lot this turn. So we're gonna go blocker and blocker, and we're going to go ahead and swing 7. Probably gonna take it 3000 worlds or red rock or whatever. Get the 3000 worlds from the trash. Can't wait to get hit in the face with that again next turn. I'm gonna do another 7 to life. Takes life. We're gonna go ahead and shambles Zoro for law. Pick up Otama for Zoro, and attach another 2 Don to Zoro and swing for 7. Plenty of attacks on the board here this turn. Cut down his hand quite a bit as well. And now we're probably gonna get Kaido double yoinked and then -4 Don triple yoinked. We'll see what happens. Oh, 3000 worlds. Did not see that one coming. Another law to the bottom of the deck. Ooh, red rock. Zoro to the bottom too. Unlucky. I'm gonna give him Sanji. I want to keep my life against this matchup, especially when I have such good board dominance. Oh, nice. Another law. He's probably getting pissed at how many laws I'm dropping. I'm gonna get another 2k counter hopefully here. I guess I'll get Nami, which is pretty good. She's like an okay card, I guess. Nami will get guard point. This is a swing for 9 situation, and then I'm gonna shambles, leave 1 open for guard point. Or, if they bottom deck something with a trigger, then I have another Dawn to play, something else. So, double good. I'll get rid of Nami for Law, and pick up a Dadan for a Nami, hopefully finding a Brook. Nope. And I'll pass. Alright, we've done pretty much everything we can so far. We've gotten plenty of blockers on the field. He really can't use his 10 drop safely at all without just straight up losing. I think we just win next turn, if I'm being honest. I'm gonna go ahead and use Otama here just because. No reason not to. Ooh, bottom deck's another card with Mihawk. Yoinks my chopper blocker, probably. Yoinks my Capone. Alright. So I'm gonna go ahead and Brook. Give the Dawn to Nami. Give Nami 1 more. Play another Beji, and I'll swing with 5. He goes 6. I'll swing 5 with Law. He goes 6. I'll swing 5 with Capone. He takes. I will shambles, reset Capone. I think I'm pretty safe, so I'll just swing again. And let's see if he has it. Doesn't have it, so Nice. Good game to him. I'm not sure if I'll do a third matchup or not, but that was a pretty good game. Not the easiest matchup, not the hardest, but good game regardless, so hopefully you guys enjoyed that one as well. Going against Katakuri, I'm going to go ahead and choose to go first. I like to go first with Law. I know a lot of people like to go second, but I like to attack first and keep a lot of pressure on my enemy. I see Bonnie, but nothing else that's particularly good. I'll just go ahead and keep it to not be greedy, and I'll pass immediately in case they have Strusin or Amande, just because my hand isn't very strong, so I don't really want them getting that type of stuff on the board. I'm just gonna swing 8 here and start putting the pressure on immediately. Trigger Brulee, unfortunately. Opponent probably going to... Okay, he's doing 5 to life. I'll go ahead and take it. Now he plays a Smoothie. Nice, not bad. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and... Yeah. I'm gonna swing 5 at life. And then I'm gonna go ahead and Otama into Vista his Smoothie. Because against yellow, you kind of just want to keep their beaters off the board. And keep yourself safe with the blockers. So that's going to be a big help, and if he doesn't somehow take out the Vista, I'm going to be able to shambles him away and keep being a menace with it. So, pretty happy about the way the game's going at the moment. If he swings with 7, which, you know, Katakuri typically does, I think I might just go ahead and I'll take one more. Another Vista, never bad to see. And another Brulee. 2 Active Dawn, probably doesn't have anything, probably just had an awkward amount where he couldn't put an unputting and attack with her, so I don't think he's got an event or anything in his hand. Could be wrong though. I'm gonna Chopper Blocker and Bonnie, peek for a Zoro. Did not really get what I wanted there at all. I'm gonna go ahead and swing 5 at life. He's probably gonna counter out of it, I'd imagine. Yep, and I'm gonna go ahead and play my Bonnie over my Otama. And tap, hopefully finding a blocker Law, please. Nope. Alright, so a little bit of a risk that did not pay off there. I'm just going to go ahead and shambles one of the Bonnies to keep it safe. And probably... I'll go ahead and play a Law, I think. Or, sorry, Zoro. Now Zoro and or Bonnie will probably become blockers this turn. I'm assuming that Pudding is going to swing into Bonnie. Oh, okay, that's kind of a waste, but alright. Swings into Bonnie with his Katakuri. And he's going to bottom deck my Zoro, maybe? Bottom life my Zoro, sorry. So, I would never recommend healing a Law. So, I'm not too upset about that one by any means. I'm gonna go ahead and Bonnie and search for my blocker Law, please. Oh, okay. Well, alright. Alrighty then. I'll Vista the blocker away. Bring back Bonnie, unfortunately, because she keeps, you know, screwing me here. I'll play another Zoro. And I'll do 3 5 to lives. Nice, took a few lives there. I don't really think he's in a position where he can comfortably 10-drop Big Mom here. We'll see. I mean, he is going to gain a life, I guess, so it's never really a bad thing for him. Yeah, he's definitely doing that if he's attacking first like this. I'll just let him have Zoro and Vista. Yeah. Big Mom. Come on. Show me the mom. Come on. I know you got it. Ooh. Surprising me. And heals me. Again. Thank you. I'll go ahead and... Ooh, I'm not having a lot of shambles targets here. I'm gonna go with Sanji, Bonnie to find Blocker Law. Thank you. Zoro. I'm gonna Shambles first, in case I get screwed by Thunderbolt. Shambles the Vista for Law. Pick up Bonnie for Vista, I guess. KO. And now I'll do 6 at life. Thunderbolt. I bet it was Thunderbolt. Watch. Oh, okay. I have a sixth sense about Thunderbolt now. That's why I always Shambles first, because if you don't Shambles first, then the trigger, whether it be Thunderbolt, Trino Bastardo, Shockwave, any other event trigger that KOs, can ruin your Shambles if you don't leave enough Dawn active, so gotta watch out for that. I'm gonna let Zoro be a blocker. Okay, Big Mom's me. Attacks 8 to life. I will... Do I have lethal next turn? I think I can just win next turn. He has really low cards in hand. I think I'm just gonna take this. Block 6. I mean, yeah, why not? Ooh, Kid screws him. If I wanted to play defensively, I could play Kid for sure. That might be the safer bet. But if he has the removal for Kid, then I lose instantly. But he's played 2 Katakuris. What's the odds he has a third in his hand? He would need exactly Katakuri in his hand to avoid the Kid. That would be the only possible thing he could have. The other thing I could do is I could swing with Law twice. It might be better. Oh, I can also use Sanji. I think I swing here. I think that's definitely the better thing. So I'll just play Chopper Blocker. And I'll do... Fuck, I should have played... No, Brook wouldn't have mattered. Oh, I can... Okay. Never mind. We're good. I'll do... 9 to life. Doesn't have it. Yep. No blockers, please. If he triggers a blocker, then I should have just played Kid. Or if he gets Capone onto... Yep. That sucks too. Can I still win? Maybe. Yeah, I think I can actually. I'll... Shambles... Capone for Rush Luffy. And I'll do 7 at life. If he has it, I'm fucked. Okay, nice. And now we'll activate Sanji's effect. 2 Dawn, 9 at life. I think we got it. Unless we got really unlucky. Nice. We got it. So, high pressure, knowing your outs, even though he hit the Capone trigger, I was still able to, you know, make it work. Couldn't make the easy play work, but I made the hard play work. He could have easily had enough counters, but I played to my outs and I won. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you saw some of my thought process and I didn't just ramble and babble on the whole time. But if you did, please like and subscribe. This is going to be a really long edited video, so I hope you guys did enjoy. And please like and subscribe if you did. Until the next time, I'll see you.